Yo, 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 we back live on location. We out here in Seattle, Washington, the blackest one. We got a very special guest, man. Don't be alarmed. Y'all might be hearing seaplanes and boats aboarding and all type of things going on, but this is the beauty of being back. We came out here for one reason only.
Legend.
4-time WNBA champion, 5-time Olympic gold medalist, 2-time national champion, 4-time FIBA champion. It's too many awards to keep going. Without further ado, we got Seattle Storm's own Sue Bird, the legendary GOAT, y'all.
Thank you. You're one of my all-time favorite point guards, and this is definitely truly one of the bucket lists for us to come to Seattle.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
First question we asked everybody, when you first got to the WNBA, who was the first person to bust your ass?
Oh, there's probably a long list. There's legit a long list. I mean, when I came into the league, it was still, Cheryl Swoops and Lisa Leslie were still dominating.
Yeah.
I'm lucky at that point guard spot. I don't have to guard a lot of them.
Right.
But it's actually the first time I remember thinking, like, holy shit, like, I have no chance, was actually my second year. And it was when Cynthia Cooper came back.
Ooh.
So she had retired. And then she came back, and she only played. I think she got hurt, so she only played like 10 or so games, and we happened to be one of them. And somehow I got switched on to her, and I had heard about her in and out. I had heard, it's like legend. I'd heard about it, and then I was just, she did it, and I was just standing there. She just went literally right by me, and I was like, well, there it is.
Do you remember when you first heard that it was going to be a WNBA? It was going to be something after college?
Yeah, absolutely. It was my junior year of high school.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of when it first got put on the map. And I like to think that my class, my year, we were kind of the first class that chose a college based on knowing there was a WNBA. Like, it wasn't like, oh, maybe you'll go overseas when this is done. Let me choose this school. It was like, oh, what school can I go to that's going to help me get ready for the WNBA?
What high school class was that?
98.
Yeah. 98.
98.
Same as me. I got a question, right? Because we was talking about this. Was there a females McDonald's All-American game then?
No.
I didn't think it was, because I didn't remember like how you see now all of the guys and the girls that are together in the dual 3-point contest. Like, I was like, I do not remember any females.
Nope.
How does that feel to not have that, and then now it's all there?
Oh, I think it's great. I don't even think about it. We had like the Nike All-American camp, and then game, and then there was like something else with the WBCA. Yeah. But no, we didn't do. I don't think the McDonald's came till like I don't even know, 5, 6, 7 years later.
Christ the King.
Yep.
You transferred from another school and went to Christ the King. What year did you transfer?
After my sophomore year.
Oh.
So
what made you transfer from your school and go to Christ the King?
It was kind of like a combination. Like, one part was my parents got divorced or separated at the time. And so that kind of like, my dad moved, blah, blah, blah. But like, I didn't, it wasn't like my dad moved to Queens.
Yeah.
Like, he moved there because Christ the King was right there. And so that's the second part of it, is basketball. I played for an AAU team that was based out of CK. So it's like, I knew the coaches, I knew all the players. Like, they were my friends, so it really was an easy adjustment.
Was Lamar there when you was?
Oh, yeah.
I was about to say, Boogie was
he
there.
Was there.
She was there
he was only there for like a month, though. That's when he went to Troy.
Yeah.
He
right.
He was only there like a month or
prep
two.
School.
Yeah.
Oh, was Omar Cook there?
Oh, yeah. He came.
That's
he
his
came
partner.
That's my guy. My year.
Oh, but I already know your story in Omar. You were supposed to be. You were supposed to be at St. John's.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that still hurts my feelings.
Yeah, I wanted to go. That Midnight Madness took over me, and I said, "Yep, I'm coming."
I'm tripping. She's a fellow 98 state champ like me. You know what I'm saying? Just Chi-Town, New York. You're a young boy. I've been raising him up since forever.
Yeah.
So how was it like in high school when this is a historic high school, and to win state championship in New York for that? How was that?
I mean, it's like what was expected. Like, you guys had Shamiqua on here, so you
Yeah.
probably already talked about that. Like,
Yeah.
Christ the King, it's like you go there, that's what's expected.
that's what you
Anything
gotta
else
do.
is like a failure. So for me, I had come from a public school on Long Island. Like, we were lucky if we made it out the conference, you know what I mean? So for me, it was exciting to have those expectations. It was cool.
To go to another school and go to a school like Christ the King, was you going to test your game out? That was like one of the main reasons, like, man, if I could play with one of the best schools and get playing time, I know I'm good enough to play on another level.
Yeah. A big part of it was, like I said, I played with the AAU team, so I kind of knew like what was what, and I knew that this was going to help get me like more looks for college, get me a scholarship, and more than anything, prepare me. I always joke, like when I got to college, like my high school team, when we went on the road, not like a one game road game down the street, but if we went to California for a tournament, we went to Ohio for a tournament, and we had like pregame meal, like we were having shoot arounds, like that wasn't normal for high school. So when I got to college, if all that stuff felt really normal.
Same routine.
Yeah.
Could it have been anybody else but UConn?
Yeah, there were some schools that snuck in a little bit, but that one was always number one.
What was it about Gino that made you like UConn? Because you kind of like, it's Rebecca Lobo, Keisha Sale, but your era kind of started the
See, can you say that louder? We try to tell them all the time. I'm pretty sure it might be our class that kind of set things off a little bit.
What made me fall in love with UConn basketball, I love Keisha Sales. Rebecca Lobo was the man there, but Lakeisha Sale was like that glue person. But when you came, it like started, it's time now. We finna run off and make a historic, university. But how was it with Gino? What made you choose Gino to be your next coach for the next 4 years?
Yeah, I mean, he's got charisma. There's, he's got something about him that when you're around him, like he's, I don't know. You want to learn from him. You want to hear his stories. I mean, now I don't want to hear him anymore. I've heard, he repeats them all the time. It's like the same stories, but when he's fresh, all his story, like you want to be around him, you want to learn from him. And then, you bring up Rebecca, you bring up Keisha, and it's like they had already won. So they had won in 95. Yeah. I'm getting recruited in like 97. So they're kind of Keisha was a senior on my visit. Yeah. So I'm looking at her like, okay. And it just, it's going to sound so kind of cheesy, but it just felt right there. It just felt like, I felt like that was who I wanted to play for. This was the school I wanted to be at. And my class, we were kind of like talking behind the scenes, There was Tamika Williams, Asia Jones, Swing Cash, Kirsten Walters, and everybody was Tamika was kind of the ringleader of it all. She's like, are you going? Because I'm like, are you going? Hey, are you going? Because if we all go, and then it just kind of happened that way.
And you said this was like the first time you feel like you guys started to choose schools depending on like, oh, I can get to the league from here. So everybody kind of had that feeling from Gino and the whole university.
Absolutely, because, again, Rebecca Lobo, Kara Walters, people were at Jen Rosati. People were, at that time, it was kind of ABL. But now Rebecca was with the WNBA, and people were getting drafted. So when our time came, and we're heading into our senior year is finishing, I remember being at Rita Williams' apartment with Nikisha Sales and them kind of telling us like, hey, this is what you want to look for in an agent. This is what's going to happen when you get drafted. This is what's going to be like when you get there. And that's like super important. Like you need people to help guide you.
How was Coach Chris Daly?
She, so she's kind of like the backbone of the program. Everybody obviously talks about Coach Ariema, rightfully so, but she's been there since day one, literally. That was his first hire. She's the associate head coach now. But like, I don't know, all the little things, like just the way we present ourselves, the way the way in which we play. Like the one thing about Connecticut that people don't maybe not understand, it's like they aren't just more talented. Yeah, they have a lot of talent through the years. It's not that. Like we outwork teams.
Yeah, you still gotta win.
Yeah, like we play hard, and that is CD. We call her CD. Like that is CD. It's like she's the one yelling at us to sprint. She's the one yelling at us to, play harder. And so in a lot of ways, like I said, she's the backbone. And the program wouldn't be the same without her. Zero doubt.
When was it for you to realize when you and Gino started clicking? When it was like, I already know what he thinking and what he finna say before he even said. I already know what we supposed to be in. I know it. Like, so when was that when it clicked for you and him click?
After being blamed for everything all the time.
That starts the journey. So I think it's like a couple parts to it. Like one, I was really, in a way, the injury sucked my freshman year, but I was lucky I got to just watch. So I kind of got to learn a little bit of like what it was and what he wanted. A lot of it was that conversation where he pulled me into the office and was like, everything's your fault. But what he was really good at, he's really good at like connecting with people. Like, that's what makes him a great coach. I joke with him all the time. I'm like, it's not your X's and O's. Those are like, okay. But it's really he just has an incredible knack for understanding people, learning people, knowing what's going to make you go, like he knew he could he could like push me in different ways, but he knew maybe with Swin, he was going to get to her in another way. And with Asia, another way. Yeah, he just had this. So I think for him, he knew that by like staying connected, like calling me into it. So like sometimes you go in the offices and he would see you walk by his office and, oh, Sue, come in here. You're like, damn. But I think he knew by doing that with me, it was going to help me like, a trust was going to be built. Yeah, built. Up. And I actually think it's him. It wasn't like a moment that clicked for me. I think he like did that intentionally with me. Mm-hmm. And then our relationship was able to grow, and that gave me confidence to go out there and kind of like be that, you know, connector from coach to team.
So you get there. What was it to start like you went 136 and 9.
That don't even sound real.
What was it to start like that winning pedigree? Like because you know, Tennessee is a powerhouse. All these other schools are powerhouses too. So what was that like to start that pedigree from your freshman year and to keep it going for like 4 years?
I mean, that's just Coach Auriemma just never letting you think you're good. Like always making you feel like shit about yourself in like in a very good way. Just never being satisfied is actually the better way to explain it. So every day, and my freshman year was rocky. So, you know, you read out the record of those 9 losses in like my class's 4 years, 5 of them came in that freshman year. So it was rocky. There was a lot of injuries, a lot was happening. And every day you showed up to practice and you're just like, oh, what's he gonna do to us today? You know, is it gonna be 8 on 5 today? Or, you know what I mean? Like we're gonna have to figure that out. Like what's gonna happen? He always was just throwing stuff at you. And then you kind of start to realize like, okay, the harder it is and the more you kind of beat him, like he's going to set it up to be impossible. And the more success you have, like then you start to feel confident about it. And then that's like as a group, you just start to build that confidence. Our class did. Then you fast forward a couple years, we add Diana Taurasi's class to the mix. So it just keeps going.
When did you accept being a leader? Like, because, you know, to be a leader, you got to accept to be a leader. Like, this is my role every single year.
That's a great question.
Whether I'm the best player or, well, I'm the worst player, my role is to be a leader. When did you accept, like, man, every team, everywhere I go, everything I do, I got to be a leader on this team?
Yeah, that's actually a really good question. I've never been asked it like that. It was going into my sophomore year. So my freshman year, I tore my ACL, so I actually didn't even play. I only played 8 games. I didn't really have like a full freshman year. But coming into my sophomore year, it was kind of like, okay, like you need to be the point guard, you need to be this, you need to be that. And Coach Auriemma pulled me into his office and he basically was just like, everything that happens is your fault. And I was like, yeah, I'm like, I don't get it. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, you know, if so-and-so passes the ball out of bounds, that's on you. Yeah. And I was like, I don't get it.
Shouldn't have gave her the ball.
Yeah, exactly. She probably did that because So in the moment, I was like, this guy's crazy. But, you know, looking back, I can see like that's what he was trying to get me to do is take ownership of everything. And then he also challenged me to kind of like break out of my shell personality-wise. Like I'm definitely like shy, dip my toe in the water kind of person. And he basically helped teach me to have 2 personalities. Like that can't be who you are on the court. It's okay to be that off the court, but you can't be like that on the court. And you have to kind of like be in the mix with everybody, like get to know everybody. And that's how I feel like all my leadership qualities, it started with those conversations.
I want you to speak on Swin Cash.
How much time you got? That's my roommate.
Swin Cash was one of them special players too to me. She was like the Keisha Sales, that glue person that kind of put everything together. Yep. How was it to play with Swin Cash and to see how her career excelled to now?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I joke that Swin and I both, we have like, I mean, sisters might not even do it justice the way that we can, I don't know, get on each other's nerves, but like have each other's backs till the end. And I say Swin, in watching her whole career, so I was lucky. I got to play with her in college. And she was a post player. I mean, when Swin, she's not going to want to hear this, but when Swin shot the ball outside the free throw line, everybody was like, like what are you doing? You know, like, oh, God, no. But to her credit, from the moment she got to the WNBA, she went, and you know, you guys know, like, not a lot of people transition from the 4 to the 3.
Yeah,
like, that's not easy. To be like, your mindset.
To really do it.
Like, where you're running on the floor, just everything. Swin is one of, like, 2 or 3 people I can think of who successfully made that transition. Yeah, and then fast forward, we won a championship here with the Storm in 2010. She was like shooting the three at 40%, like legitimately like a guard now. So that's when I describe Swin, it's like a winner. And someone who can do that, make that transition, that says so much about you. And she's by far one of my favorite teammates, like so easy to play with.
Talk about the difference between, having a roommate / best friend and a teammate. Because we know there's a big difference. I don't know if you do,
roommate, it's like you're getting to know someone on like a different level.
Different level.
You're seeing habits and, a famous Swin story is, this is actually the year before I was her roommate. So it was freshman year. We didn't become roommates till my sophomore year. And we had 6 a.m. workouts, grind, like 3 times a week in the preseason, grind. I'm like, oh, is this necessary? Swin would get up at like 5:30 and iron her sweatpants. We were just walking to
the track?
Yeah, that's how she was raised. So she's like, yep, I got to iron. And we'd be like, dang, Swin, it's 5:30. Like, what are you
Killing
doing?
them last 15 minutes.
Out of them, Joe.
But that was. I mean, she eventually let that go. Everybody needed that extra couple minutes of sleep.
Extra 30.
But you start to learn things about people when you're their roommates. We always battled. Our biggest battle in the room was the freaking thermostat.
Oh, you have
she
it.
wanted it
there
hot.
You have it.
I didn't need it cold.
I need it cool though.
Yeah, and I'm like,
I can't have it hot either though.
She wanted it hot, and she would go to bed with like sweatshirts, sweatpants. I'm like, dang, like you're sweating me out, and you're in a full-on sweatsuit. That was our biggest battle in the room, just because you had to, not to get too in the weeds on the story, but you had to change. The only way you could change it was through the phone. It was like this this system.
Wow.
It was on the phone. You dialed in, blah, blah, blah. So like we would both like be like. Boop, 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 like secretly. And I'd be like, temperature 69. She would be on the other side of the room, temperature 75.
That is hilarious.
So we had to like sneak up on each other. That was our biggest battle.
Yeah, that's a former teammate of mine over at Turner, you know what I'm saying? We work together. I know her too.
You got the opportunity to see the young GOAT come to UConn, Diana Taurasi. Come in and, she got a bright personality. Mm-hmm. I got an opportunity to see Diana when she was in high school at Jordan Camp. Oh. And it was
Santa Barbara.
I know stories from that.
in this camp, you got the little kids, it's girls and boys, but the girls, they only go all the way to a certain level, a certain age group, and then you see nothing but boys. So she was the only one playing on the highest level. That was a girl. Mm-hmm. And she won MVP. They won the thing. And I was like, man, who is her? So I went home and told my mom about it. Because the only person I knew was Cappy.
Yeah.
That I seen all the time that was dope. And I followed her. And to see her come on campus and, young GOAT and Diana Taurasi, how was that first year to get Diana on your team?
Well, you said it, bright personality. Back then, she was just... what you see now is actually a milder version, if you could imagine, back then she was wild in all the good ways, just funny, wanted to party, hang out, have a good time. Obviously basketball was super important to her, but she still does, but back then she had this flair about her game, trying to throw around the back and Magic Johnson so that was
the it factor.
Yeah. From you knew immediately. Yeah. You knew on her visit. We were like, oh boy.
Yeah,
she came to the door with the sauce.
She's special. We're like, she's special. She's special, and she is. Yeah. She really is. She's so unique in how she plays the game, approaches the game. But then as a friend, her personality, just so much fun to be around. So that was her freshman year, though. It's another player. It's fun for me that I got to watch. Yeah. All these great players really kind of mature and grow into themselves.
To win a championship with her, how was that year to win a championship? And
yeah,
a dominating team that year because y'all dominated that whole year.
Yeah, so that was after. So her freshman year, we didn't win. So it was the next year where that kind of set us up. We were all pissed off. We lost in the Final Four. She had a trash game. We all had trash games, but I think for her, she famously went something crazy, 1 for 15 or 1 for 20, really bad game. But I think if you asked her, she's that's the moment, kind of set it all up to never want to feel that way again, to motivate. And then the result was what was my senior year, her sophomore year. We went undefeated. Yeah. And that was just, I know, I'm sure people would argue, I think it's the best college team ever. I really do.
How was it for you to, like you said, y'all go undefeated, do all of that? You National Player of the Year, Big East. How does that feel coming from, you say, your freshman year, the injury, not playing a whole lot, and now you the leader, and now y'all doing all these great unforeseen things?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it was so he really never, Coach Oriama never let you get comfortable. So it's like I don't remember ever feeling like, oh, I'm the shit now. Like I don't remember feeling like that. Yeah. It was just like, eye on the prize, we're on a mission. This is what like don't you always gotta be focused. Yeah. So it really wasn't until after the fact, where I look back and like that injury my freshman year set my mentality for the rest of my career. And then I think that senior year is what kind of catapulted me to, like you said, the player of the years and all that stuff. And then that led to being picked in the draft to come to Seattle. So it all kind of like started it off.
Tell me how, like you said, for you to not even really notice that and never really get a chance to stop and celebrate yourself. How did the way that, Gino coached you and, impact you, how did that propel you for the rest of your career for like, when you do get success, do you stop and smell the coffee or do you really just keep going like he taught you to?
See, I'm kind of the same way still. Like I feel like even now with everything, that I've done in my career, I still feel like I have something to prove all the time. Like it's never enough. It's never enough. You could argue that's probably not the healthiest, but it's like for me, it's what's worked. For me, it's what's worked. It's like what makes the off seasons bearable. Like I got to get in the gym because I got to get better because I got to prove something. So that for me, it's worked. Yeah. For me, it's definitely worked. And don't get me wrong, like through the years, I definitely take, especially after you win. You got to take the moment to enjoy it. So
how was the tour when you won Player of the Year? You won the Nancy Lieberman Awards. You won the ESPY.
Shout out Nancy.
That whole tour of everybody, and, getting presented the awards, and you seeing some of the stars that you see on TV being at these award shows. How was that for you?
It was fun. Yeah, it was fun.
Top female athlete.
Made the rounds. I think that was the first time I was on. We had chartered, obviously, in college, but I think that was the first time I was on like the smaller ones, like a Learjet type vibe. I was like, okay, I can get used to this. So it was fun, and like you're right, like you go to Naismith, and I remember Jay Williams had won it that year as well from Duke. He's a little younger than me, but so he was there, and Raymond Felton had won it for the high school. So he was there. So you're right. It's like that's what makes it fun. You get to see all these different athletes. Obviously, shout out Nancy. I was able to win that one too. So yeah, just making the rounds, not having to finish school. I was like, oh, sorry, I'm busy. And then it happens fast for us. Like you finish the college season.
Yeah, right into the season.
Right, draft like what, the next week or something?
Fast.
I was a draft.
Fast.
Like, everybody excited and they remember that they want to have that moment of shaking the commissioner's hand. And you've been seeing it for a couple of years now on TV. How was it? Your experience of it.
Were you a lock for number one?
Like kind of. So that was like what people were telling me, but you never know until it's being, and it's not the same. Like my agent's not getting a call like, hey, you're going number one, and I can relax. Like I'm just sitting there like everybody else. Like, so is it gonna be me or at that point? To be honest, I think I would have been. I think I was a little more stressed that I wasn't gonna be number one because that's what all the talk was. So then if it didn't happen, I would have been like, oh God, that's embarrassing. But then simultaneously, I had also heard rumors that New York was trying to trade for the pick. Yeah. Ooh. So I was like low-key hoping that happened. Because, at the time, Seattle felt far. I mean, it's far.
No, it is.
No, it's far, So it felt really far sitting in that green room. I was like, dang, Seattle's far. But when my name finally was called, there was a little bit of relief, but then like the excitement starts to set in. You start to realize like what it means.
How much did you stress about what you was going to wear?
I mean, not at all. I'm not joking. I think, because like I said, I was lucky. I was 3 other classmates also got drafted. So the 4 of us, we like hit the mall down the street from school, like probably went to Express. And we're like, all right, I have those pants, that shirt, whatever. Like it wasn't, now it's totally different. Yeah. Oh, now, I can't even imagine the stress.
How awesome was that though, to be able to go through that experience with teammates? That meaning like 3, 4 of y'all all doing the same thing at the same time and experiencing and being able to bounce off each other. How was that?
Life-saving. Like, because you can imagine, right? Like, you guys were both like...
That's how we got drafted. We had 3 other guys that we were already knew. Keon, me, him, Corey, same age. Everybody out the starting block. So, experiencing
so you're in that green room, right? You're in that green room and you're like, cool, we can hang out. You know what I mean? Like, you kind of like tag along with each other. You get to go through it. You're not by yourself. Because that could be just kind of like intimidating, nerve-wracking, to be sitting there by yourself, not knowing anybody. So it was amazing to go through it with 3 other people.
So now you're in Seattle. You get picked and you're a professional now. How was it your first trip to Seattle?
Yeah, it's far.
Long.
And the first thing, so, R.I.P. the Sonics, the first thing I did when I landed, it was great actually. I landed, they like picked me up in a limo. They're like trying to show out a little bit, which was great. And the Sonics were in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I want to say they were playing, if my memory is legit, I think they might have been playing the Spurs. So we go like straight to a game. And at the game, they have like media set up. So they're going to introduce me. I like hold up the jersey, that whole thing. And they're kind of preparing me. This is going to be like a little bit of shade towards the Seattle media for a hot second. But they were like preparing me for the moment. And they're like, listen, it's going to be a lot of media, but don't worry. Like we'll control the situation. And I was like, okay, cool. I've just come from University of Connecticut.
Right.
Like where after every game, it's like a room full of media. So I was expecting like what a lot of media meant to me. Yeah. No, it wasn't the same definition. I walked in, there was like 5 people. I was like, is everybody else? Yeah, is everybody else coming? Or should we wait? Like, what's that? So that was my first intro to that. Yeah, it's getting better though.
Were you aware that you were the first UConn woman to be the number 1 overall, and you kind of kicked it off, so to speak?
I don't think I like logically knew that till this moment. That's crazy.
That's a bar when you think about
that's wild.
The list that you guys have just doing what y'all doing.
No, that's crazy. I'm probably also like the first class of WNBA Draft, but I'll take it.
The success of your first year in the highest league possible, just the best of the best. How was that for you?
It was unexpected.
Yeah.
Like if I like fast forward to the end of the season, I like vividly remember just getting to LA. We were playing LA in the playoffs. I get off the plane and it's a 212 number. So I'm like, oh, 212. I'm like, New York. Hello? And it was Renee Brown, who used to work in the WNBA office. And she's like, hi, Sue, Renee Brown. Just calling to let you know, like, congratulations, you've made WNBA first team. And it didn't even like process. I was like, oh, great, cool. That is the most unexpected phone call I've ever gotten in my life. Yeah. Because that's top 5 in the league as a rookie. I was not expecting that. I really had no expectations. I just went in there and played. But I was really lucky to like right out the gate get matched or paired with Lauren Jackson. Yeah. That like set everything up because that was kind of like, you can do all the comparisons like the Stockton Malone. Like we just immediately clicked, pick and roll, let's go. And it was like a perfect fit. So it helped me out.
Speaking of Lauren Jackson, like a lot of people don't say it now. We had Lisa Leslie on her and she spoke on how dope she was and how
much of a problem she was for her.
How good she was. Just talk about just how good Lauren Jackson was.
So good. So good. If she were playing today, and the game is different. It's funny? I had this realization the other day. Like, how like guys who played in the 90s in the NBA, they talk about like the rough, the physical, the fouls, and now it's like more free flowing. Yeah. I kind of like lived both of that. Yeah. Like the early WNBA days, like
they were
rough. And there was no defensive 3 seconds. Yeah. So it was just constantly like cutting through the lane was just, Yeah. And then now we're like entering the more free flowing.
More skilled.
So it's like if Lauren played now, this is like a 6'5", 6'6" center that shoots threes and can move.
Do it all.
And like got double teamed. Really, she's one of the few people in our game. Lisa Leslie's one. Yeah. Brittany Griner's one. Yeah. And there's a couple sprinkled in here and there. Tina Charles. Yeah. But like she's one of the few where it's like she got doubled every night. Every night she got doubled. And I just think that says it all.
Yeah.
She was so good.
She was real good. I don't see why a lot of people don't really say her name as much because she was real dope.
Yeah.
Another person I want to say, like since we talking about people, a current person that I feel like is so dope to me that I feel like she don't get enough credit is Jewell Loyd.
Oh yeah.
Like how dope is Jewell Loyd?
Jewell's like that next generation type player. Like she's already ahead of that. Like just her handles, the way she can create her shot. It's seeing her growth in the last couple of years has been crazy. This year, she's really starting to show like all that she has. I guess what the young kids call her bag. She's all up in there now. But it's been really fun to watch her grow too. God, I sound like such an old lady. I'm like watching all these people grow. But Jewell is, again, like Jewell's really one of a kind. Like there's not many players in the WNBA that can do what she does, can do what Arike does.
Yeah.
Like just off the dribble, create.
Yeah.
And when they get going, I mean, there's so many times in games where I'm just like, woo. I'm just a spectator, even though I'm out there.
Yeah, that 40 a couple weeks back, everybody sat down. She bring out 40 for her. Yeah, I was like, yeah, she's nice.
Tell me about making it back to the top in 2004 and winning the WNBA finals.
So what's crazy about the 2004 championship, that was like my third year. I was like, cool, it's going to happen all the time. Like, this is what it is. This is what we do. Let's go. Like, I'm 23, Lauren's 20. Like, we're both 23.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we won already?
Yeah.
Cool. And then we didn't get back till 2010, not even to the finals, got knocked out in the first round every year. So that's what's interesting about that championship is like, I was delusional. I was like, cool. Let's start the dynasty. Yeah. And then reality set in, you know, and the reality of pro sports, player movement, free agency, injuries, like just life, you know what I mean? And then, like I said, we didn't get back for 6 years. And in that moment is when I was like, when we got back to the finals, really the last 3 times, I like squeezed. I was like, I'm not letting go till we win. Like, I'm not taking this for granted. Yeah. You never know when you're going to get back. Like, trying to tell that to the younger players. Like, don't piss this away.
You like, no, we got the squad.
Yeah, like, we're going to be here every year. Yeah, not the case.
So when you first won, I remember that year, like, I don't think Seattle had a team no more then, but the crowd was crazy. Like, how was Seattle as a city?
Nuts.
When you won that first one.
Yeah, nuts.
And I remember the crowd just being just extra hype at the games and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, they were. I mean, you guys played in Key Arena. Key Arena, they're like redoing it now, but Key Arena, there's just something about that building. It gets loud. So that year, the best part about that year, like that championship run, was we won on our home court. Yeah. All the other years, because we swept, we won like away.
Yeah. Humble brag.
Yeah,
right
you know,
there,
just throw that in there. But yeah, that year we won on our home court. So it's. I mean, your first is always going to be like a little more special in a way, because it's the first. But that makes it like just epic. Like being in the home crowd, hearing the roar, it was nuts.
Part of a basketball player's journey, they always want to win a championship, win a gold medal, and get all the other accolades. To play on the USA team and play with the best of the best, be one of the ones that's chosen to be playing. How is that to win a gold medal and play with the best?
So that was like, for me, the ultimate. Because even though I just said that, you know, my class is kind of one of the first classes to, you know, base their college decision on the WNBA, that wasn't what it was when I was growing up. Like, there was no WNBA. Right. It wasn't anything to look forward to.
Gold medal was the thing.
That was it. Like, you heard about people playing overseas. I was like, you know, you're, I don't know, 13. I'm not trying to hear that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to hear about playing in Italy. Yeah. So it was the Olympics. And then, you know, you fast forward to the 96 Olympics. I'm 15. I'm kind of watching that. I'm like, oh. Yeah. Like, I say this all the time. I see Jen Azzi out there. Like, we look alike. I'm like, wait, how tall are you? And you have a brown ponytail? Let's go. Like, we're like literally, I get Jen Azzi'd often. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure she gets Sue Birded from time to time. Like, that's how much we look alike. So I was like, oh, like, this could be me. Yeah. And that kind of put that on the map then. So to actually get named to the Olympic team, that was like ultimate goal.
So as far as like, cause you pretty much did a little bit of everything. You didn't want to, world FIBA championships, you gold medal, college championship, WNBA, but you would say the gold medal and overseas somewhere too. You won some championships.
Russia. Yeah, Russia. I got sprinkled in.
You would say the gold medal was the ultimate for you.
Yes, 100%.
How was it this year? With like how everything going on in the world and how they had to set up the Olympics for y'all to win. I thought the TikTok video was crazy. I just can't stop looking at DT.
I was about to say
no
DT.
No one can.
I could look at everybody. I just got to keep on looking at DT. But how is that? It looked like y'all had a ball and y'all enjoyed yourself.
I think we did the best we could. Yeah, because we couldn't leave. We were in a hotel, so we weren't in the village. I actually think they had more freedom in the village. I'm not saying I'd prefer that, but couldn't leave the hotel. They did set it up where we had like a lounge where the men's and the women's team could go, like TVs, video games set up, whatever. You know how it is. But we did the best we could. Like, we really did. It went pretty fast, but there were definitely days where it was like, oh God, we're just stuck. It was like lockdown part 2.
At y'all. I need to see somebody else. How was it for like Don Staley to be your coach? Like Don Staley, the great point guard,
Like you say you watched
Don Staley to be your coach. How was that?
That's like full circle a little bit because she was she was me and Dee's teammate in 2004. And like you said, she was on that 96 team. I remember her too.
Yeah.
She had the, the straight backs in the gold medal game, like always had flair to her. And she actually was my assistant. So my assistant coach in college, Tanya Cardoza, played with Dawn at Virginia. So all through my college experience, Tanya would be like, Dawn texted me. She said, you ain't got no left. I'd be like, damn, Dawn Staley said that. Tanya was just messing with me, but yeah. And so the times I like crossed paths with Dawn through Tanya, it was just kind of that, like, it was just kind of almost like, I don't know, when she wasn't actually taking me under her wing because we were far apart, but there was definitely like you better work on that left, like kiddo kind of a vibe. So I had known her then. Then we become teammates in 2004, and I get to learn from her. I get to kind of see how she operated as a point guard, how she kind of led and controlled. So then the full circle moment is now I get to play for her and kind of have that, I don't know, I just think there's like a mutual respect there where, I don't know, we know we're out there to win a gold medal and we're both going to do whatever it is the team needs. And because you have a respect in that way, there's a trust. And it kind of allows you to go out there. For her, hopefully it allowed her to go out there, coach. For me, it allowed me to just go out there and play.
Yeah, I love point guards. And you, Don Staley, Teresa Weatherspoon, Tisa Pranchero. Like, them the point guards that a guy like me will always want to play with.
Yeah.
To see, your peers and NBA players and WNBA players, your peers to respect your game and appreciate your game and appreciate the way you play it. How is that for you?
That's the biggest compliment you can get, I think, whether it shows itself, maybe you hear an interview where somebody's like, oh, I would love to play with, or I like watching her play, or like free agency. When you start, people start thinking about going to teams and like, oh, I want to go to Seattle because I want to play with X, Y, and Z. I don't know that there's like a bigger compliment, because especially for me, because that is what my game is. I'm not like, there's no highlights of me out there crossing someone up. Like, I'm not hitting the step back 3 at the buzzer. Like, that's not really my game. My game is like, how can I help make this group of people like play well together? And how can I help put my teammates in spots to be successful? Like, that's where I thrive. And then, if I hit a shot here and there, of course, but that's kind of what I try to do, what I want to do. So when people see that and kind of want to be a part of that, it's the biggest compliment.
A lot of WNBA players over the years have had to go overseas and play and have that little time in between. Tell me, how was it for you to not only play overseas in Russia, but you played for a spy? Like, how was that to play for a full-fledged spy, like an international man of mystery?
Yeah, no, I mean, he had great stories. He had some amazing stories. I think that period of time in my life is the wildest I've ever experienced. I can't even put words around it. It was a crazy time. We didn't really like know the extent of his spying, and he wasn't like currently one, but he would tell us stories about, the life he lived and how he went to jail for being a spy and like all that stuff. And then now he was just a family man who loved women's basketball. He obviously had, I always say, his name's Shabtai, and he kind of, he ended up getting assassinated. That's like the end of the story, which is, I know. I know.
Real
to say the word
stuff.
assassinated is like a lot. And he just, the way I describe him is he just kind of wore different hats. The only hat we saw was like the family man and the basketball junkie. Right. And he was like working in a pharmaceutical company. Like, those were the 3 hats we saw. Obviously he had this whole other life, but he just really, his whole thing was he treated us like performers. And he was like, I want you to never have to worry about anything. So when you have to go perform and the crowd is there to watch this performance, you're ready to go. And we were like, okay. We need some chicken and some watches and some... No, I'm joking.
And you played with DT there, right?
Yeah.
How was that to play,
Amazing.
Was that the first time since college you guys got back together?
Yep. I mean, listen, you're in Russia.
Right.
And this is like, this is like my version of the, like, when your parent or whoever is like, I had to walk to school uphill in the snow 30 miles, that whole thing. Like, there was no Wi-Fi. There was no iTunes. Like I wasn't down. You couldn't just download a TV show. Right. Like it was rough and like lonely, like isolating. So to have your best friend and you're in this country where you're just kind of like, I don't know, you're kind of acting a fool because not a fool. That's not the way to explain it. But you know how it is. You're in another country. Yeah, you're like nobody knows you, so you're just out there doing whatever. I don't know. Like even at the grocery store, we would be just cracking up at stuff. Yeah, like who knows, laughing at whatever.
You remember how we acted in another country? Nobody knew us. He was 18, I was 19.
There it is.
Let me tell you, it was not for social media or nothing else.
Yeah, it was crazy. The memories of that Nike trip was like crazy.
So you know exactly what I'm saying. Yeah.
You seen the generation. You see DT come. You see Maya Moore come. You see the success that then you see Breanna Stewart come through UConn, and she's about to be your teammate.
Yeah.
How
like just talk about Stewie and just.
It's called rebuilding. Don't worry about it.
You know, this is like third generation. Like, so you've been here for a while. You know, to get her. How is it to see her game, see how actually good she is, and to be there to help out.
Yeah.
You know.
So she's like Lauren Jackson 2.0.
Right.
Because it's like they're like Lauren was like a little more low post, Stewie's a little more guard outside. Yeah. But it's just like what I saw in Lauren, I'm now seeing in this younger version. Like that's so, and the sky's the limit, you know? So what's special about Stewie is obviously her versatility and just like her ability to do it all at her size. You just don't see, I mean, there's like, you have Elena Deladon, there's a couple people, but Stewie is special. And different. I mean, my favorite part is, and I've said this to her, I'm like, she literally saved my career. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like the combination of her and Jewell, but her coming, Jewell came in 2015 and then we drafted Stewie the next year, and Stewie coming, it just changed, it really like changed the direction for me, because in that moment, we really were rebuilding. Some people might say we were tanking, but we were rebuilding. We knew Stewie was, coming out of college, so there wasn't an accident. Yeah. And it was kind of in a position where it's like, if we didn't get Stewie, I was actually a free agent. Yeah. So there was like, I could have left. And it was really like on the scale was staying in Seattle, finishing my career here, and to be honest, like playing in the playoffs again.
Right.
Like if Stewie didn't come, I don't know what would have happened. So I tell her, I'm like, man, you saved my career.
Yeah,
like you
talk to them knees. Come on, knees. About 5 more. We got one coming. About 5 more need to go. Like, let's talk about injuries, because I had knee injuries, and to come out for one and keep going, and you had some early. Mm-hmm. Tell how do you persevere through an injury and keep going? You played so long, you had to go through injury after injury, and to keep going and getting up every day to do it. Yeah, it takes a lot of mental. So how is that?
So in some ways I tore my ACL my freshman year, and then like 5 years later I had to get a microfracture. Mm-hmm. And then like a couple after that I had to get it scoped. But the best thing that happened was when I got hurt in college, there was a teammate of mine, Shay Ralph. She had been through the ACL thing like multiple times. So it was great to have her just kind of in my ear, like talking me through things, helping me through things. You can't get, what I've learned with these injuries is like, you have to trick yourself in a way. Like yourself. You can't, you really do. Like there's 2 parts to it. One, when you're in the early parts, you have to remind yourself all the time, tomorrow's going to be better. Tomorrow, the next day is going to be better. You can't think about how it felt the week before or even how it feels in that day. Yeah. You just have to like trick yourself into believing there's going to be a better day, because there is. Mm-hmm. Like month 1 of rehab versus month 5. You look back on month 1, you're like, dang, I couldn't even walk, or dang, I couldn't even straighten it, or dang, it's going to get better. So you can't get down in those early parts. And then I think the other part, you have to trick yourself. And this is kind of what I did in that first ACL rehab, which by the way, set me up. This is where I was lucky that it happened young. It kind of set me up mentality-wise for all the other surgeries I had to follow. It's like when you're starting to get back on the court, a lot of people can be hesitant, nervous. They don't want to hurt it again. And you just have to be like, fuck it. Right. What's the worst that happens? I tear it again. Yeah. But it's like you'd rather go out just doing like playing the way you want to play than playing timid and scared. Yeah.
I always think about Coach Larry Brown. He say that we be coming to the gym tired on training. Got lie to your legs, son.
Yeah,
lie to your legs, son. He used to be classy with that. But I wanted to go back to like how you said how Breanna came and kind of saved your career. It's one thing like you guys all knew that, hey, we expect this and we expect that. But how was it when she actually got there and y'all hit it off and it's like you can't even believe how good it is? How was it when you finally got to like actually experience it with her?
Yeah. We clicked on the court, off the court too, right away. Like it was seamless, it was easy. And we also had Jewell. So it's like, it was also, I was kind of trying to, like my whole thing with the Storm in that moment was I wanted to leave it in good hands. And that those hands are Jewell and Stewie's.
Chicagoland area, shout out, you know what I'm saying? Young Jewell, you know what I'm saying? You know, East St. Louis, they're over there, you know what I'm saying?
I love Jewell Loyd.
So for both of them, like I wanted them to start taking ownership of the franchise. Like it's yours. Like in all reality, years wise, like it's more theirs than it was mine at that point. Like it was gonna be theirs. And we had like a little bit of success, like pretty quick. Like nobody expected us to make the playoffs. We did, which was great. And it kind of set the tone on what the expectations were going to be. And then really what happened was from year 1 to year 2, Stewie improved. From year 2 to 3, she like skyrocketed. So she went from like a great player, probably first team, but now it was like year 3. Now she's MVP. Like it's separating. It's like a different level, and then that's the year we win. Yeah. So just kind of the progression of it. But it was pretty easy right away. I mean, she went from like a skinny little kid, legit. Like I look back, sometimes there's some highlights. I'm like, whew, she was skinny. Yeah. So like she like grew into her body. She was like establishing herself, and that was the MVP year.
Yeah, it seemed like she got extra aggressive the second and third year.
Well, she played in China. Yeah. I think that like China's like notorious. It's known, that league, for just being rough. Yeah. So I think she went and got her like beat up over there, and then came back and was like, "Oh, this is easy. Right. You guys are barely touching me."
Right. Yeah, but y'all won a championship in the bubble. Like, how was the bubble for you?
The bubble, I mean, it's weird. So like, it happened. It was 3 months, and it happened, and like. It wasn't until, so there was a documentary that Chiney Ogwumike did around the bubble called 144. And when I sat down to watch that, all of a sudden I was like, oh my God. It was like PTSD. I was like, oh God, I never want to go back there. So it was weird. Like I don't look back and think of those things, but there are moments where you're like, oh man, like none of us want to go back to that ever. It was just, that's the hardest part, to be honest, was seeing all the other teams.
Every time.
Every day you're seeing the players and the coaches and the referees. Yeah. And it's not that they're, obviously everybody's cool, everybody's nice, you're saying hi. It's not that. It was just, you couldn't get away. You just couldn't get away from basketball. There was nowhere to go. It was a hotel with one pool and everybody was at the pool all the time. So it was just like, you just couldn't get away. And then obviously like where our country was in that moment, there was just so much happening. It was like heightened emotions across the board and so much to be done. And I think everybody who went there just left exhausted, like depleted, exhausted. So when we watched that documentary, I was like, oh God. All of us were like, oh, PTSD. It's kicking in. But we won, so it made it worth it.
If you had to pick 4 other players to play with you, to play against Gino and the rest of the history of the UConn
the whole history.
Husky.
4 other Huskies or just 4 other players?
No, 4 other Huskies. Oh. So who are the 4 Huskies that you would choose to go against Gino and the rest of the Huskies?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going out on a limb here. Diana, Maya, Stewie, and then I'd probably go Tina Charles.
I thought that was going to be...
Yeah. All the number 1 picks. All the number 1 picks.
Exactly.
Speaking of UConn, speak of Paige. Have you been paying attention to Paige this year and how she played? What do you think about Paige?
Paige is like... that next generation of player I think we've all been waiting for. That's how I see her. Like, again, I've been around for a long time, so I've seen all these players come and go and evolve and this and that. And for a while, there was a little bit of like, for the last couple of years, there wasn't that like generational player. Yeah. Like that player that you knew once they came into, like a Stewie, like MVP by year 3. Yeah. Enrique has signs of that for sure. Yeah. Like leading the league in scoring, like that's special. But like, the last couple of drafts, there wasn't necessarily like this generational player. And you heard about Paige, her like sophomore, junior of high school. So now you actually get to see her on this big stage and you're like, oh, that's the next.
Yeah,
like that's how I would describe it. She's just like when she hits the WNBA, and a lot of people in her class too. When they hit the WNBA, they're gonna take it to a next level.
At Iowa is it Iowa?
Yeah.
Cold.
Crazy.
Cold.
Yeah.
This is what I want to know. Cause what do you think about somebody like her? Because you watched the draft and like she would have been a top pick this year. So what do you think about that as far as like the difference between guys be able to leave out of college and stuff early, but not in the WNBA or not in women's college? What do you think about that rule?
Yeah, I don't think there should be a rule.
They can do it in tennis, golf, anything else.
Yeah. There shouldn't be a rule. I could sit here and have the argument. I could argue both sides. Right. I could tell you why she should stay. I could tell you why she should go. I really could. Right. I see both sides of it. But as far as the rule goes, like, nah. There shouldn't be a rule. Yeah, if she wants to do it, she can do it.
I agree.
That's going to be kind of tricky for you.
Okay.
Start, bench, trade.
Okay.
Here you go.
DT, Maya, Stewart.
Yes, thanks. This is not an easy one. So what's going to make this easy is, one of them's the homie. So she's starting. Diana's starting. Okay. Then there's another one who I played with Maya and Stewie, but Stewie's on my team.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll have to start, bench, trade.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I'll bench Stewie because she's still on my team. Yeah. And then, sorry, Maya. Yeah, I do love Maya, though.
You can't cut them. They're too good to cut.
Yeah, but she has high trade value.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get a lot back.
This is an all-time. Don Staley, Tisha Panatero, and Teresa Weatherspoon.
Start, bench, cut?
Start, bench, trade.
Or trade. Oh. Dawn, Tisha, Spoon. Oh, this is tough. Are they in their primes?
Yeah.
Okay, they're all in their primes.
Best of the best.
Okay. So I guess I'll start Tisha. She has a championship, so it just gives her a little bit of a.
No, she was all-time assist leader when she left.
Oh yeah. I mean, if you want to look at like average, like I'm no fool. I have that record because I'm playing a long time. Her average, her slew like out of this world. So I'll start Tisha. I'll keep Dawn, bench Dawn, and then I'm sorry, Spoon. That's New York Liberty. Too. I know. That's like my first WNBA game. Was Teaspoon at the 1. Oh, I'm sorry, Spoon. And she's killing it now with the Pels.
Yeah. Tell me as a former UConn and everything you've done in WNBA, how was it for you from your perspective to watch Maya and her journey and her step away from the game and actually do what she did? How was that from your perspective?
Yeah. I just was like proud. I think there was a little bit of sadness in that, like, as a women's basketball player in this world, there aren't that many stars at the time.
Nobody retire.
Yeah, exactly. Like, play as long as you can, please.
Yeah,
she had just had the Jordan Wings poster. That whole campaign had just come out, like the year prior, maybe. And she was in her prime. Mm-hmm. So there was like a little bit of sadness in that we weren't going to get to watch greatness. But you can't, that went away quickly for me personally because it's like, this is what, like what her calling, right? It's like what her calling is. So then, when you get to that point, you're like, dang, that must have been a really hard decision. I mean, or not, because it was just such a strong calling. And if that was the case, then how do you be anything but happy, but proud? And obviously we see the end result. Clearly she's happy. I want to, like, they're married, they're building this life. Yeah. So that trumps everything else in terms of just, it's like basketball's a game.
Yeah. That was amazing to witness, and like you say, to know that to be at the prime. Like I was terrible when I walked away from the guy. I wasn't good anymore. Like to be in your prime and say I'm just like, not because you heard or nothing, like that had to be like you say, even either way it go, with it being a call. And I know for you to be at the top of your game, it still had to be tough to kind of just let that go. Not for no injury or not because your game deteriorated, just because you were going to do what you were called to do. I want to go back to 2018 when y'all beat Phoenix and you had the broken nose and you did your Steve Nash moment out there. Like just tell me about that, persevering through that and enduring that and then being able to beat them and go ahead to the championship.
Yeah, I've said this before. I don't say it lightly. Like that is by far the best moment of my career. Just everything that was happening. Like I said, we had we were going through a rebuild 3 years prior, and I almost left because of that, So now all of a sudden I guess what I'm trying to say is I never expected to be back in the playoffs as the favorite, trying to get to the finals, and then break my nose. I mean, such a pain in my butt. Break my nose, playing against Diana, my best friend, but also like someone who's never lost in a elimination game ever, like her or the Mercury. Yeah, and then I, the way that story goes is I started the game pretty well, and then I was not good. I missed 8 shots in a row, like trash. And Stewie just kind of nudged me in a timeout, or maybe we were like about to go on the floor, and she was like, "Hey, use your legs." And I was like, "Okay." And then I score the next 14 points in the last however many minutes, and we win. So it's just like,
do you talk a little shit to DT?
No, I'm not stupid. I know her. She likes it. She's waiting for someone to talk shit to her. Like, fuel me, please. I told the team going into that series, I was like, nobody say a word.
Just leave her alone.
Leave her alone. Don't say a word. Don't poke the bear. It's so tempting. Like, don't, because maybe you get like, like that one play you get where like, I don't know, you steal it from her or like draw a charge. You do that one play, you get hype. That's all she needs. That's all she needs. So I'm not stupid.
How does it feel to be one half of the most powerful couples in the world?
I don't know. I don't think of it that way. People say like power couple all the time. We're both like, we're so boring.
But y'all mean a lot to a lot of people. A lot of people get joy into your relationship. But how is that to be? You always want somebody to appreciate your relationship and appreciate your significant other. So how is that, and on a worldwide scale for people to love y'all the way they do?
No, that part means a lot. Because obviously, we're a gay couple. Yeah. We're able to live our lives. People can be inspired by that. We also try to just be real. It's like it's not always roses. We try to like, show people that side of things too. Just be like a real couple. But obviously it is unique in that we're both like elite athletes in this way. We're both just at the Olympics. We both just medaled. Like, it's insane. We understand that. But we just try to have fun with it, for real. Like, we just try to, like I said, be ourselves and have fun with it.
It's gold all around y'all house.
Exactly.
Well, she only has one.
Oh, hello.
The president hates my girlfriend. Like, what brought you to do that, and how fun was it to do that article and do it on Players Tribune?
Yeah. So, I mean, this was during Megan's World Cup run where, she said she didn't want to go to the White House. And then, Trump is, tweeting at her saying like, oh, you better win before you talk, blah, 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 like whatever he's saying. And it was just like a really intense time, because I don't even know what the right word would be other than intense, like to have the president, especially the type of president that incites violence, to have him, like have him tweet at your girlfriend in these negative kind of ways. So it was just like a lot was happening. And the irony of the article, shout out Players Tribune who helped me write it. The irony of that is like the night or like 2 days before that, I was like, hey, Megan, maybe like you need to tone it down because like, you don't know what there's like crazy people, like you don't know who's going to try to like get our address or I don't know, like, maybe we need to tone it down. And then that article came out and she was like, oh, what happened to toning it down? I was like, well, someone had to have your back. But that's really what the article was. It started out as kind of this like just, hey, let's get hyped for the game. They had a big game coming up. Like, let's get hyped for it. Let's talk. Let's have fun. And it really is like a fun article because obviously I don't play soccer and I'm kind of like making these predictions and I'm doing all this different stuff. But it was great to kind of get in this part of it where I got to have her back, like publicly.
Yeah, that was dope. Nice. Tell me this: you somebody that's like you say, your career spans for over 20 years, and you've seen from not the beginning, but early on in WA, and a lot of the things have changed and been getting better for you ladies. What do you think of the changes with you being somebody who's kind of been able to be part of the seeing everything as it's happening and to where it is now?
Yeah, I think the biggest change and the best thing that's happened is our league is just like embracing who it is, like who we are as people, what we represent. I think for a long time we tried to be what we thought people wanted, whether it was like super feminine or whatever the case. A lot of times you might hear people say that we should wear like, tighter fitting uniforms, like that kind of a vibe.
Lower the rims or something.
Yeah. Lower the rims. Like early on, we were just trying to like please to try to get eyeballs on our game. And I think now we've really just embraced who we are, like individually, but also collectively. Yeah. And you can see like people are just more drawn to like a genuine product, like authenticity. Yeah. And I think that's been like a huge key. And from there, it can like, all these doors are going to open from there for like, again, like for individuals, like I could start naming names of people who have these amazing deals now and you didn't see it 15, 20 years ago, but also as a league, you're starting to see like more interest. So I think that's been like a big part.
I don't think they seen Brittany Griner. They talking about lowering the rim.
Yeah,
like, she dropped Steph Duncan. Like, I lower the rim. She gonna be crazy.
I just love the way a lot of WNBA stars are starting to use their platform. You got some of the young girls having podcasts and Candace being on Turner showing that they could do different things. And, coaching, teaspoon, being moms, all of those different things, and still hooping and still coaching and doing all those things. So it's just dope to see them being, given those opportunities to step forward and show that they can do that too.
Absolutely.
Who are your favorite 5 women players? Like not your top 5, just your favorite 5.
Jen Azey, number 1.
Look alike.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard not to pick like some of the names we've already talked about because obviously Diana's on there. Maya's on there for sure. People are going to start thinking I have a UConn bias. Cheryl Swoops. I absolutely loved playing with Tina Thompson. Loved playing with Tina Thompson. Now I'm just kind of thinking of them as they come to my head. Cappy's another one. Yeah. People don't talk about Cappy enough. She was like Jewell and Enrique, what I was talking about. She was them before them. You know what I mean? Yeah.
She hooped with us coming up. That's what I'm saying.
As soon as I seen Enrique, that was the first. I was like, that's Cappy.
A lot of people said that. Yeah. So so those are. I could sit here and talk about this all day. Like I can name names all day.
They announced 25 more players for the all-time WNBA list. And,
that was today.
And,
you guys are on top.
And 3 of them players are your former players. To be announced to that next list and to see Swin and DT and Lauren be a part of that, like how was that for you?
I think that's the best part. I think, I could sit here and it's an honor and I could sit here and talk about the honor of it. I think the best part is like both seeing, your friends make the list as well. Yeah. People you played with, people you won with, have all these memories with. And then seeing, the Lisa Leslies and the Cheryl Swoops and understanding, like, I'm part of that group. You know what I mean? Right. Like, that's who I watched. Yeah. I'm part of that group. So it's kind of, like, mind-blowing in that way. So I'm both, like, in awe of it all, but also, like, oh, it's pretty dope. I get to celebrate with my friends that we made this, amazing list that is incredibly – I mean, I don't even know how they picked. Yeah. There's so many – I could sit here and name another 25.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many names that could be on it, should be on it. So to actually be on it is pretty incredible.
You've been blessed to be in this game a long, long time, but I want to take you back earlier whenever you felt that now you made a little significant amount of money. This is the question I like to know. I don't want to know what you did for your mama or your family or your people. I want to know, what did Sue Bird do to, stunt, kind of treat yourself one time when you got a little change in your pocket?
Good question. My first big purchase was it was in 1997 Defender. That was my first big car purchase, and it's like not a practical car. Right. It was actually like a big pain in the ass. Like it was big, but that was like I was like that was my dream car for forever. So once I kind of built it up, that was my first purchase.
Okay, that's what I like to hear, the Defender.
Everybody love your swag, your shoe game, your swag, where you dress, walk. Where do you get the swag from? Is it Staten Island? Is it Queens?
Long Island.
I mean, Long Island, I'm sorry. Where do you get the swag from? Who do you credit for the swag?
Credit for the swag? I mean, I'm pretty sure the swag like got unlocked when I met Megan. She kind of helped unlock.
Okay.
I think it was like, like we'll use clothes. Like the clothes are mine. She just kind of helped me like
put them together.
Yeah, and really gave me confidence. She's like, wear it. Who cares? Yeah. Like, you look great. Wear it. Yeah. Like, and I'm like, okay. And then you start to see it doesn't even matter what you're wearing once you kind of like
we make it look good.
Exactly.
Because it's us.
Do you acknowledge yourself as a kind of like a sneaker icon? Like I see everybody be on you. What is Sue wearing and all of that?
I don't like yes and no. I mean, how I say it, how I joke about it, like I literally didn't mean to be a sneakerhead.
Just
like I just,
get sneakers.
Yeah, like I just liked them. And like you guys know how it is. Like you get so much before you know it, you look at your closet.
Collection.
Yeah, you're like, oh dang. And all of a sudden it spans over, 10, 15, 20 years I've been playing. So every year I get the re-up on, PEs. They do a great job with my PEs for Seattle. And then, of course, nowadays, the culture of it all, the last, couple of years, 3, 4, 5 years, has kicked up. And I was like, oh, I have, so I have, I don't know, the De La Soul Dunks. But I had the OG ones, and then you just keep them in your collection. Now, all of a sudden, it looks like you're wearing $500 pair of shoes on your feet.
When you have a girlfriend, do you have the problem in the house of what we gonna do with all these shoes? These shoes can't take up all the closet space. No shoes in the bedroom. Do you have that problem?
Oh yeah, we are in a bad place currently.
See, y'all both getting a lot of shoes, so it's not with us it's kind of one-sided. My wife yo. But both of y'all got the same issue coming in the door.
And we don't wear the same size. It's killer. I'm like a size and a half bigger. It's just not.
Oh, and it's that close, so you can't even tell shoes from the naked eye. You walk up and put them oh, these too little.
Oh, naked eye. Talk about the box. It's I'll open. I'll be like, oh, hey, they just sent me the Sakai. Oh, they're yours.
That is the death blow right there.
Gets me every time.
All right, man, that's been a wrap. This has been crazy. We live on location out here in Seattle. The blackest one, the legend, the GOAT, Sue Bird. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Can I get one time? No?
Hey, we can always do this up on that.